Yo, Sam, this shit heat.
Hey, yo, Sancha.
Hey, yo, Champagne D is going crazy.
It says, in the amazing illustration below, you can see just how massive Nuwaupu is. Arcturus is a large star compared to our sun, and Nuwaupu absolutely dwarfs this giant star by comparison. Sirius and our sun are nowhere near as large. And here's some other stars compared with that. Comparison of Nuwaupu to other stars: the sun, Sirius, Pollux, Arcturus, all right, by C Cluster Astronomy Trek. All right, this is Neath right here. See, we're dealing with science, not religion and cult membership, who are just as mentally dead as the mummies in those tombs. Definition of scuti, word origin, Latin, literally the shield. From Latin scutum, meaning shield. This is important because the hieroglyphs for Neath is a shield and arrow. This is a depiction of Mother Neath, Mother Ra. The Egyptian goddess Neath, the primary creator, bearing her war goddess symbols, the cross, arrows, and shield on her head, the Ankh and the Wa scepter. She sometimes wears the red crown of Lower Egypt. This is her name in hieroglyphs, for those who can read it. Symbol, bow, and shield. All right, these people know what they're doing when they was naming these stars, and this is the stuff that they're not telling everybody. Because if they was to tell you this, you'd be like, okay, this is too much. Neath is called a primary creator. Primary means first, and she was called the mother of Ra and Apep. If Ra or Re is our sun, then his origin can only be from a star as well. This is already discussed earlier. The point is this: the ancients knew the orbs were conscious and were the original gods and goddesses from the beginning of creation. The fact that they made human figures and animal figures were for these two main reasons. One, these orbs made themselves known to the ancients through mental messages, spiritually, sending messages by way of spirit incarnation, and physically, information given by way of a person speaking correct or incorrect information, or it was made to be recorded, to be touched and seen in various forms in stone, clay, drawings, papyrus, etc. The animal drawings were done to respect the universal laws. The bottom half is ruled by the zodiac. 6 ether is the zodiac, conscious death gas of the universes in the atmosphere of the universe, and takes the form of animals in flesh and blood on the planets. And the head of the zodiac, the animal world, is mankind. Mankind is the head and king of the animal world. The animal world is the zodiac in flesh and blood. The word zodiac means existence and unity of animals. The noun ball count one, number 16 in part. Listen to reason. It's written that the number 6, 6 is the number of a man, and the man is called the beast, to whom the dragon gives his power. The revelation and knowledge to be known here are this: Leviathan, who is also called the dragon and serpent, is the god of the sea, also known as Poseidon, Neptune, and Sobek, the crocodile of mythology. The sea god is a part and member of the earth god. The earth god has many different members and parts. The secret is this: Leviathan, meaning the animal power of unity, and Leviathan represents all spirit beings, including all gods and goddesses that exist in the bottom half of the smart circle of order during the bottom half existence, which is now, because Introduction to the Nature of Nature, Book 1, page 16 in part. This means we orbs use animals to disguise our true selves in accordance with Nuwaupu God's rules. In most cases, a deity's true nature is told right in the name. Example, Tahuti is called a moon god, which means his origin is from the god Moon, his mental creator. Heru is a sun god whose mental creator is from Jupiter. Neith is called the primary god. Primary means first, and she was called the mother of Ra and Apep. If Ra or Re is our sun, then his origins can only be from a star as well. This was already discussed earlier. Afro-Unu's drawing of how all nebulas began is actuality the symbol of Ra for the circumpunct that are missing the 9 ether egg orb stars from becoming mature 9 ether suns. So for those who understand, this is a symbol of Ra and Kemet, but this symbol has lost its true meaning and what it represents down through evolution. Afro-Unu brought it back when he showed you this is how an alpha star or a nebula looks when it starts out. So in the beginning, see, you got the hole, and it takes them. See, this is the chaotic matter, and once this get cleared out, then the black hole, which is a star now, it's not a hole now, which is Neith, sends out all of these different stars before the lights come on, and then they start spinning off and they start pulling from the chaotic matter to create other infinite universes all over the place. As you can see, the symbol of Ra is actually the drawing of how Neith grew the entire Sunniverse with the missing ball circles. This is why Neith Nuwaupu was called the cosmic cow, because as Neith Nuwaupu was spinning off other nebulas that turned into suns, it looked like cow nipples. That was the best description for the regular people back then. This is also why Neith Nuwaupu was drawn as a cow with stars. Let's relook at the drawings by Nuwaupu Nuwaupu of the same picture up above from a different perspective. All right, so these are the drawings that Nuwaupu did. She just redrawn the ones that Afro-Unu did. I asked her to draw it a certain kind of way so you can see it if you turn that drawing on its side. And scientists will tell you when you look at the universe, it's like a pinwheel and it's spinning and it's flat. That's how they saying the universe is. So this is why I have it laid flat. All right, so you see the arrows are pointed. These are the balls, or these are how they look if you was to turn this on its side. Nuwaupu drawing, same drawing looked at from underneath, called Nebula Nipples by Neith and this writer. Let's look at the animal associated with Neith. All right, so see, you have the cows, right? And you got the nipples circled. All of these are different deities, right? So you got Nut here and Shu here, right? So when you look at the bottom of the nebula and the cow udder, you can see that. The people under the cow drawings are the other nebulas that came from me and turned into stars themselves. The milking of the udders is just saying they got their life from me by way of Nuwaupu, male and female energies that impregnated matter in the darkness of space. Look at the gematria before we move on. All right, you got the cow, 74, nebulas, 74. Here's another mystery explained. The image in goddess Nut is actually me, Neith. Nut is also called Nuit. That is just the word Nu and Neith combined to make another name. This is why the image of Nut is the same as my niece's image of the stars inside of her body. She too was called the mother. The essay below about her called Nut or Nuit explains how she was described sometimes as a cow goddess as well as god of rebirth, as the leading sun god Ra went into her mouth at night and came out of her in the morning. So they're giving you what the story is, a small compacting scenario of what happened in the beginning, because the sun didn't go into her mouth. The sun was spat out of her, and wouldn't be considered a mouth. it's because you're talking about matter. But when she was spinning off all this matter, it's basically was spitting all of these stars out into all of the places in the universe that you see a sun at. So they're using mouth, but suns don't really have mouths. You understand? But they, like our star, when it has a corona mass ejection, that's a form of ejaculation or a form of spitting off solar material and fire and ether and all of that. So that's why our ancients used the term saliva and spit and all of that. All right. So here, this is Nut, but you can see that it has the spot. It has the stars inside of its body. But when you look at Neith, Neith is the same thing. It's the cow. This is Neith. It's a cosmic cow. It's just the same. It's the same deity star with a different alternate name because name changes through time. All right. And noon sign is called a hydrosphere, aquasphere, or skin of a universe. Talking about Nut. Now look at this. Now this is the universe. See the hydrosphere, the universe skin. So we're talking about the outside of the universe. So you got all of these universes out here. They can't count them all. They trying, but they can't do it. So we're talking about now the skin of a universe. Neith, Nut, Nuit, name for all the universes. The skin of a universe is known to mundane scientists as the observable universe. Okay? So we're looking at the skin. And when you're talking about the skin of the universe, the scientists call it the observable, meaning everything that they can see outside of what they can see, that's the skin. Because the skin holds things together. And the space, which is suction, help keep the planets and orbs in place. So they're not going to tell you, y'all, that that's the outside of the universe that looks black. It's a skin there that's holding together, which is a hydrosphere, and we know hydro deal with what? Water. Okay? A universe born by non-ether into the gas field. The observable universe is a ball-shaped region of the universe comprising all matter that can be observed from Earth or its space-based telescopes and exploratory probes at the present time. The electromagnetic radiation from these objects has had time to reach the solar system and Earth since the beginning of the cosmological expansion. Initially, it is estimated that there may be 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. That number was reduced in 2021 to only several hundred billion based on data from New Horizons. Assuming the universe is isotropic, the distance of the edge of the observable universe is roughly the same in every direction. That is, the observable universe is a spherical region centered on the observer. Every location in the universe has its own observable universe, which may or may not overlap with the one centered on Earth. Afro Uno used this same description that's underlined in red about the size of the universe being a sphere or ball-shaped. Isotropic is defined as identical in all directions, having the same properties in all directions, specifically equally elastic in all directions. All right, having properties that are identical in all directions, exhibiting isotropy, invariant with respect to direction. All right, of course, an orb is a ball or circle like the sun, earth, or moon of our solar system. The mobility around this is one reason why the ball and its outline, the circle, are perfect and favorite forms of the Almighty, and orb scientists maintain that absolute nature is global and perfectly round because from any point whatsoever in eternal existence called infinite nature is the center point of roundness because endlessness in space is the same distance in all directions from any point. Remember that the center point of a perfect ball is equidistant from all contours of the ball's surface. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Introduction to the Nature Book 2, pages 19 through 20 in part. Equidistance is defined as a location equidistant from 2 major cities, representing map distance true to scale in all directions. Equidistantly, an adverb. Let's return back to the story of Neith, which is Uy Scuti Alpha Star, and Apep's origin. Apophis was frequently depicted on tomb walls in the New Kingdom and funerary papyri as a dangerous giant serpent. Apophis, probably the eater of souls and the great enemy of light, and the sun god Ra, was believed to dwell in the underworld. Some early myths say that Apophis was primarily a sun god himself, but had been cast off. The goddess Neith, an archer goddess of the Delta, spat into the primeval waters, and Apophis sprang up from her saliva. Alternately, Neith was the first being on the primordial mound, and she gave birth to Sun Ra. Blinded by his brilliance, could not see his mother when she called out to him, so he shed tears and formed humanity and exerted the principles of duality. Light could not exist without dark. Therefore, immediately after the creation of the sun, the darkness, Apophis was born as the antithesis of Ra from his tears. Some early myths say that Apophis was primarily a sun god himself, but had been cast off. All right? I know I said that, I'm just repeating it for memory drill. Now, here we go in 9-ball form. When the prominence of 6 ether breaks forth from the sun at death of the universes and reaches the earth magnetic field, it interferes with the earth and moon in their living courses, and the great deluge on earth called Noah's flood takes place. All right, so it keeps going. It said that converts 6 ether, the moon, right? Converts 6 ether from the sun to what? Deeper and greater negative forces, which is development of evolution, until it reaches its climax in ghosts and the Caucasian race. 6 ether is the zodiac, conscious death gases of the universe in the atmosphere of the universe, and takes the form of animals in flesh and blood on the planets, and the head of the zodiac, the animal world, is mankind. The 9-ball count 2, number 38. Now, to be clear, Apophis, Leviathan, was a solar power force during the top half of 36 million years before being ejected from our sun, Nuwaupu, to planet Earth 18 million years ago, according to Noon science. We shall address this now. Leviathan, Apep, position in nature in general, is defined in the words Nodiac and Zodiac. Listen to sound, right, reason. Look at figure 4 in this topic of this volume. It is an end surrounded by a circle. It is the Nut, which is the top half of the smack circle of order. See figures 3, 10, and 37 farther ahead. In this subject, and it stands for nature, Nuwaupu, Noon, 9 Novum, North, nobility, Nuvu, no, etc. The Nut, which may also be called Nodiac, as the opposite of Zodiac, means the unity of gods and goddesses like Zoop. Zodiac means the circle and unity of humans and animals. Introduction to the Nature of Nature, Book 3, page 23 of the PDF. All right, this is a drawing out of Book 3 by Afro. This is the letter N. This is the life. Top part, the place where Nuwaupu rules and reigns, is the life section. Here in the death zone is the Z, standing for Zeus, the opposite of Nuwaupu, which is Nous. We're right here at the bottom part, the worst part of the zoo. The key word here is unity. Let's read how Leviathan is defined in Noon. All right, different members and parts. The secret is this: Leviathan, meaning the animal power of unity, and levitation represent all spirit beings, including all gods and goddesses that exist in the bottom half of the smack circle of order during the bottom half existence, which is now. Introduced to the Nature of Nature, Book 1, page 161 in part. Leviathan is the sexual unity of the orbs, suns, planets, and satellites, animals, spirit, gods, goddesses, and humans during this time we are in now. During the time in the top half, Leviathan is the mental and ethereal spiritual unity of the orb, spirit gods and goddesses, and pygmy gods and goddesses when they exist. Listen to reason. Last but not least, the letter E in the word and name nature symbolize ether, entirety, energy, Ethiopian, endlessness, eternity, euphoria, ecstasy, ending, education, elimination, elements, equality, emptiness, eggs, emotion, evolution, and also equilibrium, as well as enlightenment. Natural ether, in the form of reason, is the creative energy throughout nature in its entirety. And the word Ethiopian was originated from the root word ether. Of course, absolute nature is endlessness in space, matter, and time in all directions, and eternity and infinity are other ways of saying it. Undoubtedly, energy is the active ingredients of matter, and it causes euphoria and ecstasy, as well as creation and destruction. But energy, especially in the form of spirit beings, can be very tricky. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Introduction to the Nature, Book 1, page 29. Listen to reason. At origin, birth of a universe, since there are no individual males and females of flesh and blood to produce flesh and blood people on orb earth, this writer repeats the force that must do it, the sun and earth and moon, aided by spirit beings, the spirit gods and goddesses of absolute nature. In the top half of the smart circle of order, during the time it exists, there is no organic sex intercourse. Even after flesh and blood gods and goddesses who have sex organs themselves are created, these great beings experience euphoria and great pleasure in the fact that they are gods and goddesses, and thereby able to sun energize and ray beam to wherever they wish to go by the help of spirit beings. Plus the fact that they have sympathetic nerve systems of joy that give them great feelings of pleasure each time. Look, the sun replenishes their nine ether energy and power, the source of the Nile River in Africa. Introduction to the nature of nature. So we know that Apep, Leviathan, was in the sun, all of the stars at one point, and that part of the sun that was putting out positive energy is the mental euphoria that the pygmy gods was experiencing. They didn't experience sexual bottom half Nuwaupu energy, because 6 ether, which is a 6, is another way to say sex. All right, so 6 ether or sex ether was not around at that point. All right, so it tells you here that the sun replenishes their 9 ether energy. So all they did was just lay out in the sun, and they got all of the mental pleasure of being gods, which is different than how human beings experience ecstasy, because it has to be mental and it has to be physical, and some people add drugs and every other thing else. This is what Leviathan does in the bottom half. All right, so this is over answering Mr. Dakin's question about how do we get sex out of that. It's not how do we get sex out of that, it's how the information provides the truth and facts of that our ancestors knew, and Sound Right Reason brought it back, and Nuwaupu was hiding it. But Afro Unu still put the knowledge in the books from the Bible interpretation all the way up, and you idiots still don't know what time it is. All right, let's continue. Leviathan Apep is an enhancer energy force that manifests itself in the form of the 2 greatest forms of power in existence. 9 mind mental power when Nuwaupu rules, and 6 mind sex power when humans and animals rules. All right, mind and sex. Of course, mind is creative matter, and 9 represent mind. Mind is the motivating matter in nature. Mind may be living at one time and dead at another time. Living mind is that which has more positive matter active than negative matter, and dead mind is vice versa. A living being's mind is its personal guide. A living being's mind is his personal control. To say a living being's mind is his personal guide and his control is to say that a living being's mind is his personal God. To use a Caucasian power word, show us a person who has a weak mind, and we'll show a person who has a weak God. The way to strengthen your mind is with 9 knowledge, the correct information. A person can be living physically and dead mentally, as in the case of a Negro. The word Negro means negative growth, which is another way of saying ignoramus. 9 mind grew the universes. The suns are 9 mind. Mind is the top half of the circle of space, matter, and time, and sex is the bottom half in part. 16. Sex also causes males and females to fuss, fight, and kill each other. Sex sometimes causes people to do incredible things. Many people know the art of sex, but few, if any, know the science of sex. The art of sex is knowing how to obtain the greatest ecstasy or pleasure from sex. But the science of sex is knowing how to obtain the least adverse results of the act. To put it another way, according to the law of the code of the opposite, sooner or later, pleasure must be offset by pain. In part, coition, sexual intercourse, is normal and natural and is a source of pleasure and the source of reproduction. But a man can make himself or herself a slave to sex by allowing it to become an obsession. Then the mind degenerates to animal level.
At one point in time, and because things progressed, it didn't keep happening, but it actually was a rule for us not to wear shirts. Like women couldn't wear shirts at one point in time, so we started putting leaves on our nipples, you know, going live. And other things that I wouldn't consider quote unquote rules, but were non-negotiable things in the group was that every woman had to have sex with Nature Boy. But were non-negotiable things in the group was that every woman had to have sex with Nature Boy, or have some type of sexual fantasy with him. And a lot of times when that would happen, it would be forced and non-consensual because it was not negotiable for anybody there.
Another adverse result of sex is too many children. What happens if you can afford only 3 children, but you have 6?
More, because I was really I didn't know that he had that many wives.
And then, Pauline, that's what I'm saying. First you realized he had 1 or so.
Yes.
So there was 1 or a couple of them.
Yes.
That was okay.
Yes.
But then he 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
9, 10, 11, 12.
13, 14, 15, up to about 50.
Up to about 50 wives.
Yes.
Well, let me get this very clear so everybody understands. This man has fathered, we know for a fact, well over 100 children. But some estimates say it could be well up to 300, 400 children, correct?
Yes.
Another adverse result of sex is too many children. What happens if you can afford only 3 children, but you have 6?
D is going crazy.
Another adverse result of sex is too many children. What happens if you can afford only 3 children, but you have 6? The answer is you must become dependent on someone else, someone to help you, and this keeps you in a form of mental and physical servitude, or your family goes destitute of sufficient food, clothing, shelter, and education with no relief in sight. And this kills the hopes of rising to greater heights in life. Then that family usually pines away in ignorance, idleness, and uselessness to self and kind.
So nigga, when I came to this, it was on my own accord. And when I did, I was damn near homeless up in Brooklyn, New York. That was the first time in a long time, since I was a baby perhaps, that I even came in contact with the Nuwaupu nation. I was damn near homeless in fucking Brooklyn. Fucking scraping up quarters, like in this fucking busted down ass fucking building, trying to buy a fucking sandwich. In 7-Eleven off Bushwick and Hart Street in Brooklyn, New York. That's the closest I came to it. And even then, that shit was of no benefits to me. Cause nigga, I'm around a whole Nuwaupu based bookstore, whatever, my nigga. Nigga, I'm still struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not eating every day. I got rings around my eyes. For me, like, I'm sleeping in a fucking building with no heating, a whole fucking brownstone. I gotta sleep with fucking 4 fucking jackets and shit like that on the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that name did nothing positive for me. Why would I rep it? Why would I rep it? It did nothing positive for me. It did nothing good for me. You know the history that shapes, history is what shapes people's psychology. I have a history that shapes why I don't claim Dr. Malachi York. Y'all, like, the other Yorks, they may claim, oh yeah, I was in Brooklyn too. Nah, nigga, y'all was in Brooklyn in a safe Nuwaupian community at a safer time and place. Y'all grew up around Nuwaupians who fed y'all the rhetoric that Dr. York was God. I didn't have that rhetoric fed to me at no point in time. Never. I've never had that rhetoric fed to me.
In part. 19. Increase in knowledge for us Ethiopians makes our minds the ruler over all activities, including sex, and that makes our road to liberation straighter, quicker, and easier. Control over our sex as a race is one of the keys to our liberation, and all the keys necessary to open the doors of our liberation are found and will be found in the booklets, the 9-ball, and also Bible interpretation and explanation written by Amanu Rakapata. Sex is a great power which will work in our favor if we do not abuse and misuse it. In part, the 9-ball, count 3, numbers 13, 16, 17, 18, and 19. As you all have just seen, especially Mr. Dackins, that Mr. York did not adhere to the Bible interpretation, the explanation, and the 9-ball count that explicitly warned about Leviathan. APEP is a giant sex force. Mr. York, Eligio Bishop, Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, and the whole world is being controlled by APEP in one form or another. Apophis, APEP, or Leviathan. Here's the gematria for Leviathan's helpers. All right, we got Mr. York right here. Goes by the name Nabab Yanun, 38. Leviathan, 38.
It's 6 o'clock.
Malachi, 29. Pepe, 29. York, 39. Apophis, 39. Eligio Bishop, Eligio, 39. Apophis, 39. Bishop, 33. Threes, Apophis, 33. So when you heard Bishop, Eligio Bishop in the little video where he was talking to his cult members, talking about, I'm the 3 God, I always been on my 3.
I wouldn't even be in the 3. It says F y'all trying to torture the 3. Cause y'all being weird, and I'm really at the point right now in my life where I really don't want no weird shit around me, my nigga. I need some real 3s around me, nigga. I need real niggas around me. I need some real bitches around me. Nigga, I'm free. I'm 3, nigga. I'm the 3 guy. Y'all wanna embarrass me? I'm gonna embarrass y'all. I promise you I'm the 3 guy. And nigga, I'll be by my 3. I was always by my 3. I'm still by my 3 because y'all motherfuckers ain't 3ing with me. Nigga, I'm the 3 guy. Y'all wanna embarrass me? I'm gonna embarrass y'all. I promise you I'm the 3 guy. And nigga, I'll be by my 3. I was always by my 3. I'm still by my 3 because y'all motherfuckers ain't 3ing with me. Y'all acting like y'all 3ing with me, and then the camera come on, y'all start acting fucking weird as fuck.
That was the spirit speaking. 3 God, 29. Pepe, 29. Marshall Daniels. Young Pharaoh. Apophis, 84. Marshall, 84. Apophis, 33. YP Allah, which is short for Young Pharaoh. That's the name he was going by when he first came out. 33. Brother Polite, 70. Apep, 70. Michael Noack, 92. Leviathan, 92. This is why this writer, Neith Kemet Meru Jutar Kinu Nuwaupu, released multiple videos with Leviathan in the titles to warn the intelligent and the unintelligent. About this bottom half water god that is bringing judgment and death to all the beings on planet Earth who are guilty and will not make it through Armageddon the rest of this year, nor will the guilty elite make it to February 5th, 2025 or past that date. This is a picture of Amet, the devourer of souls. It's three deities in one. Neith is Amun-Ra, the sun god Jupiter, and Leviathan. Neith is the top head, which is Amet, which is crocodiles. That was one of the signs and forms. They say Sobek, but that goes back to Neith because one of our animals is a crocodile. You got the lion, that's Jupiter, which is a sun or Ra, that represent the stars. And you got the hippopotamus, which deals with water animals, and that's symbolic of Leviathan. All right, and you got, here's the Gemathia. Neith, 56. Amet, 56. Amet, 20. Apep, 20. Ray the sun, 38. Leviathan, 38. Dig underground as you must. Osiris, Tahuti, Geb will meet you there to seal you in those underground bunker coffins for your deeds against the planet, humanity, and other non-human members. Let this be known. This is the ancient tomb, Khufu's pyramid. Modern day tombs called underground bunkers. Basically, the following was how Leviathan, who produced ghosts, keeps hell going by way of the Caucasian race. Leviathan is the boss or head of the spirit of the Caucasian race and mankind in general, and it commands the most powerful, knowledgeable, and orderly spirits of itself, the Caucasian, for the purpose of ruling and oppressing. Leviathan, on the other hand, commands the least powerful, most ignorant, and disorderly spirits of itself to its captives for the purpose of submission, servitude, and informing the oppressor, because knowledge and order rule ignorance and disorder. Moreover, the spirits of ignorance and disorder make the oppressed instead of the oppressor look like the villain. Furthermore, destruction, ignorant, and disorderly spirits possessing the oppressed by will of Leviathan compel the oppressed people to distrust, dislike, and reject each other the same way the oppressor rejects them. Most times, the oppressed do not deal fairly with each other, and this is because for distrust of each other. Most times the oppressed are destructive and disorderly, and this reason for the dislike of each other. But all this is being done by evil spirit forces dispatched by Leviathan to the oppressed to aid in keeping them downtrodden through ugly words, and ugly work. Spirit forces can cause people to be dumbfounded or cause them to be mentally keen. Bible Interpretation Explanation, Book 2, number 58, written 1968. Listen to reason. This writer repeats, spirit beings partake, share what people eat, because many of them are indeed incarnate within people. Therefore, the purification and cleansing process, as was sold for turpentine by the person inhabited, help strengthen the powers of the positive spirits and lessen the forces of the negative ones. Turpentine used externally is fine for soreness and pimples and other disorders on the surface of the skin. Applied by patting it on instead of rubbing it on, and never put turpentine on a raw wound or open sore. Negative spirit beings take full advantage of weaknesses of people mentally and ethically, ethereally, spiritually, chemically, physically. In the case of the Ethiopian race, Leviathan, the spirits who rule, sends lesser and submissive spirits to help keep members of the black race down in the world under other human races, while aiding our oppressor with the higher and aggressive spirits. And this means that members of the African race, the black race, the kinky haired race, are under an evil spiritual spell spawned by the negative evolutionary forces of nature. But knowing and practicing nature knowledge, spirit purification process, and right nutrition will help us Ethiopians by race solve these problems and others. Let it be, remember always, and let it be known. Introduction to the Nature, Book 1, page 121. Tremendous cosmic peace in wartime.